The Joint Pacification Task Force called it a controlled enforcement action. A show of force, a light lesson. They didn't bring tanks, they brought banners. They didn't send warriors, they sent instructors. Because Earth had refused to pay the tribute. The Galactic Council considered humanity stubborn, disorganized, naive. They didn't think we were a threat, just annoying. A frontier species that didn't understand how things worked out here. How order was kept, how every planet paid dues for protection. But Earth didn't play protection games, and so they sent a force to make us understand. 12 ships, 3,000 troops, 7 different species. All veterans of Council compliance operations. Their target, Tantalus 5, a remote, arid world in human-settled space. Population, 9,200, terraforming incomplete, no planetary shield. No orbital defense. On paper, easy. Commander Artal of the Vexare elite stepped onto the landing ramp in polished armor expecting to see panic. Instead, he saw a child watching from a rooftop through binoculars. No fear. Just curiosity. He frowned. Deploy the first unit. Civilians to be gathered in the square. Begin compliance lectures. It started well enough. The civilians didn't resist. They gathered. They listened. They even nodded when the alien officers read out the official council decree. For non-payment of protective dues and violation of transit protocols, Tantalus 5 is hereby placed under corrective administration. That's when a hand went up in the crowd. A woman, civilian, she asked calmly, "You done?" Artal blinked. "Excuse me, just wondering if that was the whole speech or if there's more before this gets messy." Then the plasma bolt hit his translator officer in the face. Not from the crowd, from above. The rooftop where the child had been. The girl was gone, the sniper was not. The aliens scrambled for cover, too late. Half the crowd opened fire, from under coats, from hidden compartments in carts, from false prosthetics and modified crutches. Every civilian in the crowd was armed and trained. Commander Artal activated orbital comms. Unit under fire, unexpected resistance, request immediate evac, static. His fleet had gone silent. He looked up and saw the sky shimmering, jammed. Back on the command ship Harmony of Order, Admiral Velexa tried to activate their encrypted net. It failed. Then she saw it, the ghost signature. 2 Earthships, Black Kite and Gunpost 77, previously decommissioned, suddenly powered on from low orbit. They'd been there the whole time, waiting. On the surface, the aliens fell back, but the humans didn't press. They waited. Disciplined, deliberate. Artal's second-in-command, a Garnathi blood tactician, finally said it out loud. This wasn't an ambush. No, this was a trap, and we walked in. Night fell. The humans didn't pursue, didn't gloat, didn't even communicate. They just repositioned. Silently, smoothly, like veterans, because that's what they were. Tantalus 5 had no standing army, just retired soldiers. And every one of them had volunteered to stay on a nowhere planet because they liked peace. But if peace was taken away, they knew how to end a war. Commander Artal didn't sleep that night. Neither did his remaining troops. The forest east of Tantalus 5's settlement burned low, but no human came. No speeches, no surrender, no retaliation, just calm. That was worse than battle. He activated his ops display. Maps still jammed. Sat feeds corrupted. Scouts missing. The words his tactician whispered chilled him. They're not fighting us. Then what are they doing? They're letting us lose. By the 3rd day, discipline in the task force broke. The Garnathi elite raiders requested permission to strike into the ridge settlements, flank, strike, recover. Artal approved. 24 left. 2 returned. They were unarmed. 1 was blind, the others only words. They were already waiting. They knew our movement code. They knew our plan before we did. The humans weren't killing indiscriminately. They weren't trying to wipe them out. They were demonstrating. Every move the aliens made was countered just enough. No more. No less. Pinned squads were allowed to retreat. Fire lanes were designed to maim, not kill. And worst of all, every shot hit. Velexa, still trapped in orbit, began broadcasting distress codes. No council response, not even static. She considered activating the ship's dark jump core, a tech used only during Black Ops retreats, but something was wrong with their navigation AI. It refused. Hostile gravitational field detected. That's impossible, she said. Correction, field artificially induced. The humans had placed grav mines in orbit on a frontier colony. On the ground, Artal's command bunker went dark, not bombed, taken, silently. While he was in it, he turned to give an order and found every member of his command detail already disarmed, conscious, alive, but seated in zip cuffs and stripped of armor, and standing across the table a human woman, no insignia, no rank. She placed his own field map in front of him, annotated, corrected. Here's what you should have done, not bad but predictable. He tried to speak. She raised a hand. Lesson's not over yet. All across the settlement zone, alien units found their supply lines cut, drop zones booby-trapped, air too unstable for shuttles. No bloodbath, just precision. Alien troops tried to break through on foot. They vanished, but no bodies were found. Velixa received one final transmission from the surface, a video. It showed her own Marine division in open field formation, captured and kneeling, not injured, not tortured, just waiting. And before them stood a single human, voice calm, tone clinical. You said we'd be taught a lesson. We've taken notes. Now pay attention. The silence didn't end with surrender, because there wasn't one. Earth never demanded capitulation, never issued terms. They simply took control. In orbit, harmony of order was now blind. Their encrypted systems showed nothing but black. Navigation read VOIDLOCKED. Thrusters responded in Terran override code. Velixa stared at the bridge holofeed. A human frigate, decommissioned decades ago, officially, now floated outside their window, broadcasting one sentence in 7 languages. Stand down and await realignment. She opened the emergency uplink to Council Command. Still no signal. That's when she realized they weren't jammed. They were isolated. Earth hadn't just cut their lines. Earth had rerouted them through itself. On the ground, Artal sat cuffed across from the same human woman. She wasn't mocking. She was instructing, with his own maps, his own tactics, and Earth's annotated notes layered over them. This position here, she said, tapping the cliff pass, too exposed to your own indirect fire. We assumed you'd retreat to it. You did. We adjusted. He managed a whisper. What are you? Her stare didn't flinch. We're the quiet professionals. You kicked in the wrong door. By day 6, remaining council troops stopped resisting, not because of casualties, but because of efficiency. No unit could move without being boxed. No comms worked except the ones Earth let them use. Supply drops were intercepted and delivered to the wrong species with polite labels attached. Incorrect theater. Consider reading your own logistics doctrine. Earth's military had a saying, amateurs talk strategy, professionals talk logistics. The Council learned that the hard way. In high orbit, Velixa finally ordered a forced core reboot to reseize her ship. The console replied, reboot request logged, permission required. By who? Unit. Earth Logistics Command, Remote Access 9, clearance above yours. She stared. Earth owned her ship. And still no human insulted them. No victory speech. No parade, just systematic shutdown. Alien troops were returned in full health, weaponless, rationed, unharmed, and briefed on where they had failed with references, citations, and simulations. Then came the order from Earth. Prepare for extraction and debrief. Not an evacuation, not imprisonment, instruction. The first alien captain saluted his human handler, out of respect. By the end of the week, they all did. Artal was the last to be released. He asked one final question. Why didn't you kill us? The human didn't smile. She just packed her gear. We don't kill when we're teaching. That would be inefficient. The council met in emergency session, not on a planet, not in open air, underground, behind psychic shields far from Terran ears, and still they whispered. Artal sat on the testimony bench, his armor gone, his rank stripped. He didn't argue, he simply placed a drive on the table. "Play it," he said. They did. It showed troop formations folding, command networks collapsing, human civilians moving like special forces, alien officers offering salutes. Then came the final clip. A recording from inside a human training structure, once thought a barracks, now confirmed as a sim lab. A room full of alien cadets, learning from humans. A young Lathari officer paused the lesson. "Why teach us?" The instructor, a Terran with gray at his temples, shrugged. "Because someone's gotta, and if we don't, you'll get yourselves killed trying to teach us again." The room went quiet. Then slowly the alien cadets stood, saluted. Back in the council chamber, no one laughed. They couldn't. Every force that had landed on Tantalus 5 had been returned, fed, healed, corrected. Every fleet ship restored, but network-bound by Earth protocol. And every alien force commander now requested Earth officers as advisors. Not out of fear, out of necessity. The Vexarai, who once demanded tribute, issued a formal apology in Terran standard. The Garnathi offered joint tactic drills. The Yalith Empire abolished its outdated domination doctrine and began importing Terran field manuals. One headline echoed through the stars. Galactic High Command instates Earth-style boot camp requirements. And Earth didn't celebrate. No parade, no speeches, just new schedules, and longer queues of alien generals waiting outside Terran training hubs to learn. On Tantalus 5, the humans returned to silence. No medals, no flags. They simply rebuilt the scorched brush, buried the few they lost, and got back to work. When asked why they didn't retaliate harder, why they didn't demand planets or payment, the human reply was always the same. "We don't need your worlds, just don't bring your boots to ours." Velexa, formerly admiral, now liaison officer, addressed a new class of alien cadets. She had once stood above humanity. Now, she stood beside them. She adjusted her collar and nodded to the grizzled human trainer at her side. "This is Instructor Mallory. You will call him, sir, as I do." And across the stars, something new took root. Discipline, not the blind kind, not the forced kind, the Terran kind, earned, sharpened, unrelenting, the kind that moved without orders, struck without fear, and saluted without shame, because they tried to teach humans a lesson, but in the end, they enrolled in the class instead.